Hey you, welcome back. My name is Cade and today we are going to be repotting this massive Dracaena. I'm sure you have had to repot things at some point in your plant journey, so I thought it would be interesting if you and I just had a little chit chat here. I have the new potter that I'm going to be, or the new planter that I'm going to be putting the Dracaena in, as well as some soil, the old one, and a wet rag here as well to wipe down any dirt that's on the foliage. This guy's actually been falling over quite a bit. I have it on the porch, and anytime any kind of wind comes through, it's such a tall plant that it's so top heavy, and it always seems to tumble down. So I actually have some Spanish moss in here as a top dressing for this plant, so we're just going to set that aside, and I'm going to go around here and just wipe off, specifically around the base of the plant. This guy actually fell over and it has quite a bit of soil on the undersides of its leaves specifically, so I'm just going to go ahead and wipe that up. But I hope you guys are enjoying the new quality of the videos. I got a new Sony camera not too long ago, and it's been interesting to use that, and I've been using a different editing software as well. I've upgraded from iMovie to Final Cut Pro. So if you guys have any recommendations on how to improve upon that, if you guys are versed in the content creating realm, let me know. This is also my reminder to you that you need to make sure that you're registered to vote for this upcoming election. If you are living in the US, vote.gov, I think, is the website that you go to in order to do that. And if you're not, I do disapprove. However, I can learn to accept you into the plant boy world. All right, now that this plant is relatively wiped down, I'm going to pull it out of its old pot and we will take a look at the root system here. Oh my, definitely time for a repotting. I did see some roots coming out of the bottom of the pot, which we can see here, and it is looking a bit root bound. So yeah, this is definitely a good time to do this. This plant has also been battling some weird kind of discoloration on the leaves. It almost looks splotchy, which is interesting. I'm kind of veering towards maybe a viral disease, but I'm not entirely positive. Truthfully, if I was being very smart about this, I would probably be getting rid of all of the soil of this original plant. That way, any kind of fungus or viral particles that are in the potting mix down here, which are causing the problems, is hopefully eradicated. However, I'm not entirely sure that's the problem, and that's very time consuming to wash off that root ball and really get all of the soil out there. So there are different systemic antifungals and things like that that I can use. Certain copper sprays out on the market work really well. They're more geared towards gardening. As I was saying, those copper sprays are more geared towards gardening. However, you could definitely use copper fungicides and things like that in your houseplants as well. Just follow the similar directions. Usually it's like a foliar spray that you'll put on, from my experience. So I filled up this pot pretty adequately with potting soil down around the base of the plant to where it looks like we are going to have an ample amount of space here to top dress the plant and maybe anchor it into space a little bit further. So now I'm going to work on filling the space around the root ball in with soil to anchor it in. Have you guys found any like rare or good finds lately? I've been kind of striking out. I haven't done a whole lot of plant shopping lately. I have so many plants on my porch that I find it a little scary to transition back into the fall and winter months, because I'm going to have to find a spot in my home for all of these plants, and I'm not necessarily sure how that's going to go. So we will see. If you're interested in learning more about repotting, such as how to do it, when to do it, so on and so forth, I do have a Repotting 101 video. If you choose to watch that, you will definitely see the change in quality as we have kind of upgraded the setup, and I have learned more about lighting and how to really have a better production value. But I think it would be interesting if I take you guys along like another houseplant tour video here shortly. That video was very well received and a lot of people had a lot of positive things to say about that. So I think it would be interesting if I took you guys around with the nice camera and kind of just did almost like a little update, kind of like a what's growing right now, what's doing well, what's struggling. I think it would be interesting to have both of those videos available to view several months apart in filming. And that way you can kind of see how quickly these plants grow and how quickly things change. I think that would just be kind of cool to see. Okay, so I think, well, let's try to make this guy as straight up and down as possible. This is really kind of the hard part with these taller plants, is making sure that they are straight up and down so you're not having any kind of problems in terms of them falling over as they grow up more and more. They should be able to kind of acclimate themselves, but that's only more so if the sun is really coming from the top, which is very unlikely with houseplants. So I'm going to take my top dressing and place it back in here just for a kind of nicer aesthetic appearance. I prefer the look of this moss over just bare soil. And it's worth noting as well with Dracaena specifically, this is a Dorano Dracaena, things like limelight Dracaenas, Dracaena marginata, all of those different kind of Dracaenas that you would think of first whenever you think of Dracaenas are very sensitive to mineral buildup in the soil and things like that, which is, if you have noticed, probably why I'm seeing this, these like brown crisping leaves on the end. And I have a video on flushing soil and what that means, or leaching soil, and what that basically means is that you are running a substantial amount of water through the soil to drain off any excess salt or mineral buildup that happens naturally through tap water, or even sometimes filtered water, or through fertilization. These guys do not like that whatsoever. And we can actually see that whenever we look at this pot. Ignore all of the dirt on it, but you can see how there's kind of like this white banding at the bottom of the pot. This isn't fuzzy, this is not mold. What this is actually salt and mineral buildup. And you can see that whenever you look inside of the pot here as well. This like kind of beige white rim happening here is a salt and mineral buildup as well. So whenever you have plants that are getting crispy at the tips, sometimes it can be a mineral and a salt thing. And if you are seeing these on terracotta, it happens very easily. But if you have like a glazed ceramic pot and around the drainage hole, you're seeing a lot of kind of sediment buildup, it definitely may be due to a mineral or salt buildup, and you may want to consider leaching your soil. All right, everyone, we repotted this guy up pretty quickly. It was relatively painless, actually. I'm going to give it a very healthy drink of water, help it establish into its new home, and we will see how it does over the next coming weeks. I hope you enjoyed this little chit-chat with me, this little repot, and I will hopefully see you all in the next video. Bye.